We'll see what happens. Live. Well, in South Florida, a heavily armed convoy like this one is on the move following a secret route. Its cargo, confiscated cocaine, over $50 million worth, captured by the cops, and tonight, slated for destruction at an incinerator. In this one, members of the San Diego, California Police Department are raiding a so-called crack house, where push-yourself cocaine to people in this neighborhood. For the past 6 months, we have covered the street cops whose job it is to rip and tear and pound their way into the nation's crack houses and shooting galleries. And we have gone undercover to expose the pushers who profit from this dirty business. But this time, something went wrong. The lead crook, the one the cops had earlier told me had a reputation for violence, had just recognized me. Come with us deep into the Amazon rainforest to track the source of the dope and follow its violent trail as it finds its way into the hands and arms and noses of 1 out of every 10 Americans.
How often is it? 24/7, 8, 9, 10.
What does that mean?
24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with extra days when you lost the time, track of time.
Sadly, some are desperate enough to do anything to get their drugs.
Why would you sleep with someone just to get drugs? Don't you have any self-respect?
A little, but I don't know, I like to fly. I like to do acid, and that's about it.
And even the littlest children are caught in the middle.
The crack is in the diaper, and they're not using the baby for cover. This is pathetic.
You ain't got that long.
This is pathetic. No.
Who are you?
I'm someone who is ashamed for you.
Wait, who are you, though? Who are you?
My name is Waldo Rivera.
Take a look at the war in trenches. Not from TV movies or a television police drama. This is real life. The first in a series of raids we'll be showing you this evening. In this one, members of the San Diego, California Police Department are raiding a so-called crack house, where pushers sell cocaine to people in this neighborhood. This is real life. Here it goes. There are about 2,000 dope arrests in the United States every single day. 811,000 last year alone.
Don't cancel your party plans. But don't think you're gonna make it up tonight.
Before each of these actions, undercover officers had gone into the premises and purchased drugs. They knew who and what they were going after. Following the buy, the cops obtained a search warrant authorizing these furious raids. The residents were then arrested only if sufficient quantities of dope were found.
This man is in business here,
After watching dozens of these raids from very close up, the reason behind the police tactics becomes clear. The idea is to hit swiftly and with overwhelming force. Surprise and shock are the best protection, not only for the officers, but for the crooks who might otherwise be blown away.
Somebody's got to set a cuff for this guy.
On average, 1 illegal weapon is seized for each raid conducted. Dopers have become among the most violent of criminals.
It's the way the cocaine dealers wait for the police in L.A. Fully loaded Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum. Oh, excuse me, 44 Special. Would have ruined our day.
Nice pair of sneakers in here. I'm sure you can probably use it, love. Look, we got this shirt right here. Help yourself out,
The cat that was on is making contact with a family, which is a great thing. You heard earlier in our first interview, she loves communication with her family, and that was a big deal for her, not having a family in her life. Since we did that video, so many people reached out with concern about Swahili. Sad that she's still out there, but she got hope. So that's a great thing. Swahili is back in contact with her family. And we want suffers tell you guys the time. Everyone suffers. She's a beautiful daughter. We did the video. I put the video out. And she got lots and lots of support from people all around the world.
In fact, your Teflon-coated bullets, they go through bulletproof vests.
New York City last month, an entire precinct was reshuffled after 14 officers were indicted for shaking down drug dealers, stealing their dope, then reselling it. The alleged mastermind of the scheme, Patrolman Brian O'Regan, killed himself rather than face indictment. And in Miami over the last year, 36 cops have faced dope corruption charges. 7 of them for trying to rip off 3 dope pushers, later found floating in the Miami River. Nationwide last year, 351 law enforcement officials were charged with drug-related corruption. That's about 1 a day. But since many thousands are involved in narcotics enforcement, perhaps the bigger story is how many managed to resist the compelling temptation to take a secret piece of all this easy action. The reaction of this Key West, Florida barmaid, accused of selling cocaine to her customers, is typical of the dozens of people we watched being arrested over the course of the last several months.
What did I do? What did I do?
No one ever tells the cops, okay, you got me.
What did I do?
Still, watching these small-timers getting busted makes you wish law enforcement was as effective in nailing the drug kingpin.
Turkey, I ain't done a damn thing.
My arrest? Why am I arrested?
Of her father.
No.
Sorry.
While most of the American people endorse what the cops are trying to do, there are still allegations of excessive behavior. Los Angeles Police Chief Daryl Gates, for example, got a whole lot of flack for bringing his battering ram to bear on the homes of suspected dealers.
My wife and kids are here, man. Oh my God! That's what you guys do. I'm not selling nothing.
They better get out of this business in the city of Los Angeles, or they're going to have this blood right into their living room. I told you before, we're going to do it. We're going to keep doing it. I don't care what the editorials say. I don't care what anybody says. We're going to continue doing it.
This year in LA, there will be about 70,000 narcotics arrests, up 64% over a year ago.
The next is for heroin. So they are in business.
Although there are just 500,000 heroin addicts in this nation, it's estimated that they commit 100,000 burglaries, robberies, or auto thefts a day. In cities like Chicago, the junkies are also killing themselves.
Junkies. Definitely. It's like used by junkies to shoot up. Use the same needles over and over again. They swap needles amongst themselves. That's how they get AIDS.
The fear of getting AIDS from dirty needles is one reason many junkies have begun switching to another drug. It started in New York City, the crack attack. The stuff is still not available everywhere, but large amounts are now being sold in Detroit, Houston, Miami, Atlanta, Boston, Newark, San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, St. Louis, and of course, New York.
This place is like a drug shopping center.
Yeah, it is. There may be,
Just as a rough estimate, say 50 crack.
oh, look at that. Loaded sawed-off shotgun.
The tenants in these buildings have become so accustomed to the police raids, they've taken to leaving messages to the cops, the apparently law-abiding tenants, that is. Apartment 44 to the police, 34th precinct. Please do not break my apartment door as you did on April 5th, 1986 by mistake while I was at work. It's got the report number and thank you. You know, so it's incredible. The same apartments, time and time again. Same steel doors, the same dope, the same dope. In New York City, there were 56,000 drug-related arrests in 1985. Since there are only 39,000 places in the entire state's prison system, the result is both inevitable and depressing.
When will these guys be out again?
More than likely in 2 days. Today's Wednesday, they'll probably be out on Friday. They'll make bail and they're right back out here again.
Back out on the street.
Right out on the street.
Still, the cops have to keep trying.
You know, one of the things that will make this program different from any other dope program there has ever been is the system of live remotes. We have one right now on the monitor. This is the U.S.-Mexico border just south of San Diego, California. We have a live camera. I think this is the first time this has ever been done in network television. U.S. officials claim that there is a direct connection between illegal aliens, the people you're looking at right now being lighted up by that high-powered spotlight, and the smuggling of narcotics in from Mexico and the rest of South America. We're going to examine that issue later in the broadcast. Right now at locations all across this country, our cameras are there as cops are moving in on suspected dope dealers. So on live television, a pusher may soon be going down for the count.
American Vice, the doping of a nation, is brought to you in part by Allstate. For home, auto, and life insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate. And by Skin Bracer. You're not finished shaving till you've used Skin Bracer Aftershave. It has what your face needs after every shave. Skin Bracer.
Saving people from the nightmare about to be described by British pop star Boy George, who, as you know, is an admitted junkie.
It doesn't mean using it. It means waking up one morning and your body telling you, not you saying, oh, let's find some drugs, but your body saying, excuse me, I want them, I need them. And it's like having something inside you pulling and stretching and screaming. It's the most horrible thing.
You know, it's not so long since drug abuse was the domain of either the wicked and wealthy on the one hand or the wretchedly poor on the other. Now anybody can wreck their lives with speed, snow, super joints, horse, crack, angel dust, and other cutely nicknamed self-destructions. So here's what equal opportunity drug abuse looks like. Remember the old days when dope dealing was something that only happened in the dirty corners of the world? Times have changed. Now it's around the clock and all over town. In many cities these days, to check out the heaviest action, all you have to do is hang out for a while in the nearest park. Here's what our camera saw in Washington Square in New York City. There's all kinds of action on Wall Street. Look at these yuppies all lined up. The authorities tell us they are buying dope. You decide for yourself. In a cruel, ironic way, perhaps it's appropriate that so much is dealt on the streets of the financial district. Because drugs are big business, maybe the biggest around. Federal authorities tell us that gross receipts from dope sales this year will exceed $100 billion. An amount which, if true, would top the net sales of General Motors and rank the dope business as the largest of the Fortune 500 companies. We, the people of the United States, lead the world in the consumption of illegal drugs. We snort, and we smoke, and we shoot 60% of all the dope produced on the planet. Many of the users past that credited Geraldine Ferraro is under indictment now as his college's cocaine connection. Despite its tremendous middle-class appeal, the coke industry is facing a real crisis. Not this latest war on drugs, just the opposite. So much coke is being smuggled successfully into the country. There's a glut now on the market.
I have grown old in this business, and I have seen it growing from a small amount. I remember the days that I would buy out on the cover an ounce of cocaine and would bring it into the office. 4 or 5 agents would gather around the table and say, look how much dope is in there. Right now, we see it's 1,500 pounds, 2,000 pounds, and it's just one more case.
When we began production of this report, a kilogram, that's 2.2 pounds of cocaine, was selling in Miami for about $45,000. Now you can get it for about 1/3 that. At these prices, the bodies are coming in bunches. Welcome to the Miami morgue.
We're analyzing cocaine samples now that are purchased for $50 to $100 per gram that are 95% pure. The availability is now going up again, the purity is going up again, and now you also have the advent of crack or rock cocaine. And associated with this now is a death rate in Dade County of about 2 per week of cocaine.
By now, most know about crack. The process is actually just a diabolical, deadly marketing scheme. It's a way of boosting sales and profits by making cheap coke available for kids, the poor,
and working class. We have to interrupt that video piece. We have one of the live buses. It's on the air right now. It's in Fort Lauderdale in Broward County, South Florida. Sorry to interrupt that bus, but here we go. We are told a search warrant is being served on the house of a Bahamian national who is allegedly a big-time, heavyweight cocaine dealer. The bus is being carried out by 8 to 10 officers, as you can see. They're in his house now. He's down on the floor. I know they found bags of kilo-sized bags of cocaine in his trash today and yesterday. Approximately 12 empty bags, they say. Now, one thing I want to make very clear here, we're not showing this guy's face because he's just a suspect, despite the fact that they made the undercover negotiations. Despite that, obviously that woman is not involved in the bust. Okay, now we're gonna come back and we're gonna get a resolution. We'll see what drugs they find. Tell the camera. Okay, good. It's live television. We have no control over it. It's risky business, but that arrest, as all these arrests, pursuant to a legally obtained search warrant, that would have happened regardless of the presence of the cameras and based on undercover police work or an undercover buy. That fellow, we're going to come back, we'll follow up on it, get the legal aspect of this thing ironed out, because it's critical that their rights be protected, but also we want you to see that this is happening right now. To tell people that there are 811 busts in this country in a year, or over 2,000 a day, those are just numbers. To show them, to show you all that this is happening right now in your town or a town near you, that's the way we think to demonstrate exactly what this thing is doing to our nation and to the people obviously involved in that. So we're going to follow up. You'll see what that's all about. Why do people do it? I mean, that's the question. Why do people do this to themselves? The experts have all kinds of answers that range from despair and boredom and self-destructiveness and peer pressure, material, spiritual poverty. But you have to consider another very important motivation. Drugs feel good. They feel so good that millions of people wreck their lives in order to get more. I'm sure you've heard... The cops on dope patrol are cowboys. These tactics might appear excessive if drug abuse was a victimless crime, restricted to adults who only hurt themselves. But it's not. Dopers are like outlaw alcoholics. They don't just screw themselves up, they pollute the world around them. One way or another, it's the kids who suffer most. What do you say to a child who begs that his dope-dealing mother not be taken away by arresting officers? You tell him to be brave, and the words stick in your craw.
Everybody has to be nice and brave. No crying. The kids, I mean, it must break your heart.
Well, it does break my heart, but I have to blame the adults. For what these poor kids go through. They see their mom and their dad's going off to jail, they're crying, and you wonder, what's going to happen to them.
In a Los Angeles neighborhood, the deputies are executing a search warrant on the home of an active dealer. They find significant quantities of cocaine. Undercover officers also discover the dealer allows his house to be used by customers to consume their buys. The place is a sewer filled with men, women, and a little baby whose mother I confront later.
You didn't know this was a coke house?
No, I don't know anybody that's in that house besides
Well, you must have seen it when you brought your baby there. And why'd you bring your baby to a place like that?
I didn't know.
I mean, how can you bring your baby to a place like that?
If I would have known, sir, I would have never done it.
I hope you're telling me the truth.
I am telling the truth because I don't want to lose my baby.
In Chicago, the narcs discover that it's grandma holding the goods. Alleged dealers. The family apparently has neither time nor energy to think about their children's environment.
But why do you have these drugs around these little babies?
That ain't mine. That belongs to someone. I don't.
Who does it belong to?
They just asked me to hold it. That's all.
I mean, the really disgusting thing is how the children are affected by this. I mean, to live in this rat hole, no one's caring for the kids at all.
They're gonna take a look at this back room. In this back room, you got a puppy here, dead for a while. And it's horrible. What can you do?
In San Francisco, the cops have pursued a dope dealer to this apartment. Having arrested the woman, they are now searching for the marked money the undercover officer used to make the buy.
This is our buy money right here. It's your money? Yes. So you're trying to use the infant as cover? Yes.
She's not using the baby for no cover. So, I mean, don't come with that bullshit. I don't give a who money it is. I mean, she's not using this baby for no cover.
The kids get caught in the middle. You'll find the narcotics, you'll find money near them because they figure we won't look in that area. Here's some base raw cocaine right here that was rolled up in the dirt. The crack is in the diaper. Yeah. And not using the baby for cover.
You ain't got that.
No, this is pathetic.
No. Who are you?
I'm someone who is ashamed for you.
Wait, who are you, though? Who are you?
My name is Walter Rivera.
Okay. I have nothing to do with this.
The word role model was taken to a perverse new low this summer in Oakland, California, with the death in prison of a flashy, high-volume dope dealer named Felix Mitchell. Widely regarded as a dashing Robin Hood who usually beat the system, the dead pusher received a hero's funeral. Many of those in attendance were children, getting exactly the wrong message.
He was just making money, you know? America is a money-making state. He was just down making his money, that's all.
One of the new expressions we found during the production of this special is dope whore. Women who prostitute themselves, not for money, but for drugs.
Like the only way I can get them to keep giving me more is to go to bed with them.
This whole scene is bad enough when the women are adults. The experience of this San Francisco teenager is every daddy's nightmare. Why would you sleep with someone just to get drugs? I mean, don't you have any self-respect?
A little, but I don't know, I like to try. I like to do acid, and that's about it.
Aren't you afraid that someone's going to rape you out there?
Yeah. Yeah, but not in San Francisco, like in LA and little California towns. I want to get a job, then I can buy my own drugs.
Striving always to expand their market. As this police surveillance video shows, even schoolyards are not off limits to the pusherhead. The big worry these days is that as supplies of the relatively inexpensive crack become more generally available, smoking it will become as popular with American children, as it already is with the kids in countries like Peru, where the stuff is produced. The boy on the left is 12 years old. The one on the right says he is 14. Both told me they've been smoking crack for the last 3 years. Another producing nation, Bolivia, is caught in a cruel trap. The more the local authorities clamp down on the drug exporters, the more dope there is for local consumption. There's so much around, and it's so cheap that no one is immune. This clinic, for instance, treats children addicted to the local version of crack. This little boy is named Gonzalo. He's only 4 years old. He's a crack addict. Abandoned by his addicted parents, Gonzalo was living in a dry riverbed with his 2 older brothers, both under 10. The clinic administrator told me the older boys gave the stuff to Gonzalo because they had no money to buy the child food, and the crack killed his hunger. But it was back in the United States where we found the littlest junkies of all. Just a week old, this 4.5-pound baby girl was born addicted to cocaine. Her mother was so stoned at the time of delivery, she didn't realize until sometime the next day that she had given birth. Think about it. What future does this kid or the other cocaine babies in this unit really have?
We have 50 babies in here, and 10 of the 50 babies that we're taking care of have cocaine as part of the history or found in the baby's urine. This is a baby whose mother abused cocaine, and the baby was born looking okay at about an hour of age. Had a spell that we don't even understand. Our cardiologist thinks the baby might have had a heart attack. The baby physiologically is probably doing okay now. This is another baby with a congenital defect. The valve was born outside of the baby, and the mother was, oh my God. I know it's sort of devastating. First time they come in, I don't know what people think the first time they see these babies that are really, really sick.
Okay, we're in San Jose, California. As you can see, the Street Narcotics Unit is on the way to make a bust. They are just moments away from the bust itself. We are told that there are 3 illegal aliens who are dealing, according to the undercover informant, black tar heroin. That's sort of a home-stirred up, homegrown brew, high-grade heroin made from the poppies grown down in Mexico. There are 10 cops in this unit. They're about to hit the house now. I've worked with these guys. They're really professional. They, again, are working pursuant to a legally obtained search and arrest warrant. Again, because it's live, we have no idea where this thing's going to end up. I can tell you that the adrenaline rush is amazing. Okay, they're at the site now. Cameras behind them. I don't know if they can keep that. I don't know if they can keep the transmission going. All right, here they go. I don't know what that guy's going to think when they knock on the door. Okay, this is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is live. They find one illegal weapon at every one of these places on average.
And they're not talking about it. How dare they contradict the White House?
At every one of these places on average.
San Jose police, we have a search warrant. Open the door. San Jose police, we have a search warrant.
Okay, got one down. Okay. The whole idea, remember, is to hit swiftly and with overwhelming force. It not only protects the cops, but just as importantly, it protects the lives of anybody in the house, including the suspects. They just usually don't resist. I did 3 dozen of these things, and they usually don't resist. Okay, we're going to follow up on this bus too. Again, I say they were after black tar heroin. We'll see if they found it. Now, this particular bus, or the bus in San Jose, happened to be in sort of the ghetto side of town, but dope is not just a ghetto problem. It's moved out of the ghetto and into the middle class. It's moved into suburbia, into the homes of what we regard as typical American families. Let's meet the... Okay, quickly, this is San Jose. They've just arrested a guy who has dope on him. We have also heard, you should know, from Fort Lauderdale, the Broward County Sheriffs, they have found 2.5 kilograms. All right, we're going to go to it live. They found 2.5 kilograms, weapons, grass, and there it is. And allegedly, also a police officer from the Bahamas. I'm sure you've heard, there it is, there's the dope. I'm sure you've heard how the Bahamas have been linked, allegedly, to dope smuggling into the United States. They have found the weapons, the dope, and a cop from the Bahamas, if that checks out. So this thing's going to go pretty far. We're going to take it as far as it goes. We're going to see who all's involved. Look, this is what they're facing. Here's your victimless crime right here. That's a bunch of bull. This is heavy duty organized mob types here. We're not saying them. I keep saying alleged. They'll have their day in court. They can sort that out. All right, right now we have a live camera in another Florida city, watching as a seedy-looking drug seller is trying to find some customers. There it is. The reason it's green is because it's one of those night scope cameras. But the seedy dealer, you can just see him on your screen there, is not all he appears to be. Is he, Lieutenant John Brooks of the Miami PD? Who is that street pusher?
Those are 2 officers of the Miami Police Department Street Narcotics Unit.
All right, now they're trying to sell dope as opposed to buying it and then making a bust. They're posing as dealers to sell dope, and then what? They'll bust the buyer?
Yes, that's correct. Basically, Operation Sting targets the people who are coming in to purchase narcotics. The vehicle that they're searching right now was a person who came in to buy narcotics and who was arrested.
How many arrests have you made so far this evening? Any idea?
40 plus.
Is that right? My goodness. Okay, well, stand by, Lieutenant Brooks, because we want to come back to you in a couple of minutes, okay? It's one thing to sit home and contemplate the risk these dope cops take. It's much more frightening to put yourself in their shoes. I know because I tried it. I went undercover to show you a sting from the inside out. I don't know if we have it up, but...
The Gulf Coast of South Florida, undisputed center of America's cocaine trade. And you're about to see it very close up. That's me in the red bandana. The guy in the middle is an undercover cop. The lead man is the contact, the fellow about to introduce us to the main dope truck. He's waiting in a motel room with 2 other men and a woman. As you'll see, the girlfriend will turn out an alleged accomplice. The dude shows us 2 ounces of cocaine. As the supposed money man, my job is to test it with the chemicals the cops have provided. I do. The stuff is pure. The officer and I are followed out of the motel by the suspected dealer and his girlfriend. He's told us that he has a full kilo of cocaine to sell. He had to pick up the larger quantity someplace else. The undercover cop and I were told to follow the dopers, who are driving this blue Camaro. We followed in this white Corvette.
Okay, we're going to be checking the guy driving the blue Camaro. Can you hear me?
Our camera team followed in this van. It was for them a long, bumpy ride, apparently designed to spot anyone following or to shake off pursuit.
Damn it, let's go.
Our unusual convoy led the tailing cops a merry chase. The team caught back up as the doper led us into a big shopping center parking lot. Tracked by our backup team, the dealer then entered a head shop, a store that sells drug paraphernalia. He emerged carrying a brown paper bag, then headed back over to where we were waiting.
When he comes back, I'm supposed to get in his car with him to get the dope. His girlfriend's going to get in my car with her lager and count the money.
His girlfriend then did get into the Corvette with me. Her job to count our buy money. $32,000 they thought would soon be theirs.
Okay, he's 97.
He's 97. The sting had been successful. When he got back to the car, the dealer had offered the dope in exchange for the money. The deal was done.
Got him, Dano. I got him, baby. Got him. Cool.
All right, the deal went down. It's all on the hidden camera. Basically, he offered 2 ounces, said he could get another kilo of cocaine, went and got it, I think, from a store. His girlfriend, the accomplice, counted the money, the $32,000 that we offered for the kilo of cocaine plus the 2 ounces.
Whoa, look at that, baby.
But this turned out to be a ripoff. Real cocaine turns blue when tested. Our crook had apparently picked up phony stuff in that head shop. He's still charged, though, with trying to sell us a counterfeit.
Under arrest, pal. And you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in a court of law.
We've saved the best thing for last. The guys with their backs to the camera are undercover cops. The large man in the red shirt facing the camera is a suspected dope dealer. He tells the cops to get a hotel room, to which he will deliver 2 kilos of cocaine. The cops agree.
I'll get around. I'll call you at this number. You give me. I'll tell you where we're standing. We'll know where I got the room out of that.
Pursuant to the dealer's instructions, the 2 cops and I get a room in this plush Fort Lauderdale hotel. I was posing as George, the money man from New York City. The deal's going to go down in this room, presumably. 2 kilos of cocaine for, what, $60,000? And as the deal goes down, the officers waiting in the other room will come bursting through. We'll try and film this transaction with the hidden camera, and we'll have another camera, a big camera, with the officers who are coming through the door. The key word, and you can listen for it as the transaction develops, is when I say, you can see I'm all greased up, I'm the money man in this deal. When I say, have you guys ever heard of Candid Camera, a television program called Candid Camera? That will be the cue for the officers to come rushing through the door. So I think it's, what we're doing here is just getting some sound so you can hear actually how one of these dope deals goes down. We'll see what happens. About an hour later, the first of the suspected dealers arrives. His job is to check out the scene and, of course, to count our money. Our conversations were being monitored and recorded by the cops in the next room. The guy's very conscientious, counting every single one of my $60,000.
Count the money. I've been on this thing 4 hours now.
After chatting for a time, I tell the guy I'm getting impatient. So he leaves to go get his friends and the dope.
I think they're totally fooled. I think they're going for it.
Right, they counted all the money?
They counted all the money.
He was counting one at a time.
Let me just show you now what happens when the doper returns to the hotel room with the 2 other guys. One of the first things their leader says is, the lead crook, the one the cops had earlier told me had a reputation for violence, has just recognized me. I told you tonight the vault was full. That was a very anxious moment. You'll see how it is resolved.
For an investigative reporter, the disadvantage of being on television for a while is that you can't go undercover unless you change the way you look. What do you think? Do I make a convincing dope crook? The lead crook, the one the cops had earlier told me had a reputation for violence, has just recognized me. Fort Lauderdale in a minute. You're looking, as you can see, at a live picture from Houston, Texas. The Harris County Sheriff is moving in on a duplex building where allegedly a pimp and his prostitutes are supplying truckers with coke and speed. They're moving in right now. They're on the roll, the final roll, up to the duplex building where this dude and his ladies are allegedly dealing out to the truckers. The sheriff down there in charge is Sheriff Clevenhagen. These guys are good. They're real pros in Houston. I don't know when they're going to hit the house. We're on the roll right now. We got to stay with this. I don't know how far away the target house is. Again, they are working pursuant to a legally obtained search warrant based either on the information provided by a confidential informant or an undercover officer who earlier today made a buy. I know that Houston had at least 3 of these warrants that they were going to serve this evening. So again, I want to stress that this is reality. This is happening. This isn't a television program. This isn't a made-for television movie or a police drama. Real life, those are real cops. Okay, you understand? They're outside. Oh, go. Here they go. Get it. Oh. Hey, these guys. Oh, take it up. God, watch the window. Take the race. Oh, man. Oh, where you at? Put it on the wall. Put it on the wall, lady. Period. On the wall. Turn around. Hit that wall. Spread them out. Both sides. I can't imagine what it must feel like to have... Spread your legs apart. Put your hands back. The 82nd Airborne Division. I don't care what we did. We are running a search warrant. You are now under arrest. All right. Violation of narcotics. Put your hand back on the wall.
Huh?
Harris County, Texas, Houston, Texas. Okay, we're going to check back with Sheriff Clevenhagen. In a couple of minutes, we'll find out what, if anything, they find in this case. Okay, so 3 for 3. 3 busts. First, I'm sure, for network television. Live. It's happening right now as you're watching. Okay, we'll get back to that. I wish I could say we're going to calm down. We're not. It's going to get even more anxious. We're going to get back to the story of the sting in Fort Lauderdale.
Huh?
When the doper thinks he recognizes me, I decide the best defense is a good offense. It's a maneuver to get him to change the subject. And it works. You can't be here for 5 hours, motherfucker. I mean, what are you, some big... Then where's the dope, man? Give me the dope. Hey. This is bullshit, man. You guys told me to be... All right. Secure in the knowledge that help stands waiting with drawn guns just a door away. I fight down my rising anxiety and test the kilo of cocaine the alleged dealers had brought us. It is an intense moment. Sit over here. You make me out happy. Sit down. It's okay. I just wanted to sit down. Remember, the word that would trigger the police assault is candid camera. I got 3 things to say. Number 1. Number 2. I am below. Number 3. Okay, what do you got? You got a kilo? Got the kilo? It is dope. And you guys already recognized me, but not that good. You know, you just sell a kilo of cocaine to Ronaldo Rivera. You're the most famous dope dealers in America right now. Now we're going down to the car. There should be another key of dope down there, and certainly one other suspect. Read the right. Hold on a second. Whoa, these are your rights. You're going to need them. Listen, everybody. You have the right to remain silent. All right, so now they've gotten the 4th guy. He is probably the Mr. Big insofar as the 3 guys upstairs are concerned. Probably the source of the dope, although he is just a suspect right now. This is 1 kilogram plus 60 grams. 60 grams might be just the packaging. Test it. It's rock hard. Okay, so here's the dope. Looks very pure. If it turns blue, it's coke. Turned in a second. It's pure cocaine.
Okay, Sheriff? Yeah, Geraldo just did his undercover buy of a kilo of cocaine. Now he arrested, we got 4 people, kilo of cocaine. No, we took him down.
Okay, they took him down. Now we're back in Houston. I think they're going in for another bust. Okay, I don't know the facts on it. I don't even know if it's the same sheriff's department unit. It's the second floor of the same building, they tell me. It's the second floor of the same duplex building. It's the Harris County Sheriff's Special Ops. They're ready to go. Stand by.
We are still live?
Still live. You're still live there.
Okay, right now we're taking papers upstairs. We're getting the papers to check in. We've already got the weapons.
The guys, they found weapons? Did they find weapons down there? Can you guys down in Texas hear me? Sounds like they definitely found some weapons already. I don't know if anyone's home in this house. All right, I don't know exactly. You folks at home know just as much as I know at this point. I know that this is the second floor of the same duplex in which the pimp and his ladies were allegedly dealing dope to truckers who were stopping by. They were dealing mostly cocaine and what was that other? Coke and speed, mostly coke and speed. All right, I don't know if they're gonna go in there. All right, so all right, let's switch now. Let's go right back to Miami. Why don't we switch right to Miami? Okay, great. We're on that streets thing where the officer is posing as a dope seller. This is the reverse of the classic sting. He's posing as a dope seller. Lieutenant Brooks, what's the action?
Okay, they just made an arrest. They're back out there waiting for any potential customers that come by. Because of entrapment reasons, they can't say anything or offer any drugs. The person who's coming up to purchase the drugs has to make the first sign or asking for the drugs.
He has to make the first motion. Okay, what I'd like to... Okay, before we... I want to show you... All right, this is the border. Lieutenant Brooks, when we get right back to you, this is the border. Now, remember what I said about U.S. officials claiming that there was a direct connection between illegal aliens and smuggling of dope into the country. The INS official told us that about 1 out of 3 of these people are carrying dope. That sounds very high to me. I don't have any facts to rebut him, but in my experience, I don't want to be oversensitive because I'm a Hispanic man, but a lot of the illegal aliens, as you know, are just hardworking, decent people coming looking for a job. But they do have record seizures of dope on the border. Okay, here's a sting. We got a sting going down right now. All right, they just did it. All right, they just got this guy. You know, buyer beware, dope buyer beware down there in Miami. It's a tough town. You know, they've had some problems with the cops. The overwhelming majority of them are honest, hardworking cops too. Okay, now I want to show you what we did. We did some work with these Miami cops doing this action. I want to show you what it looks like, really, an anatomy of these the cell stings as opposed to the buy bust. Cops on this kind of duty have something in common, really, with soldiers in a war. You know, you wait around for 95% of the time, and then 5% you're in action, and it's terrifying. They have a hands-on job. On a San Francisco street corner, an undercover officer, the short guy with the beard, has just purchased some PCP, angel dust from 2 suspected dealers. Unaware the buyer is a cop, the 2 pushers follow him across the street, insisting that he share the dope with them. This type of transaction is called a buy-bust in police terminology. An undercover cop purchases narcotics, the buy, followed immediately by the bust, the arrest of the people who sold it to him.
You're under arrest for selling narcotics.
Don't move. In Miami, the vice cops are even more aggressive. Look at this supposed crack salesman working a notorious neighborhood.
The rock there, man, from Nipple. Yo, I'm the police. I'm the police. You under arrest. No, you under arrest. No. Give it.
Surprise! The pusher is really a cop. The police chief of Miami, Clarence Dixon, knows these tactics are controversial. Some claim it's entrapment.
but his intent is to drive dope deals off the streets of his city any way he can.
Want to open it up? It's good stuff.
I better get two.
Yeah.
I need some money.
It's two, man. Want two or one?
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Okay, we the police. You on arrest. Just pay for the police. Where you from? Minnesota? You want 4 rocks? Okay, give me the money. That's. Oh, well, I gave you 2 minutes. How much you want? 4? Okay. All right. Give me the money. Got a car? Leave it right there. There. Okay. Give me my rocks back. You got my rocks, Larry? I gave him 4. He beat me, man. He wanted. Oh, this. Okay, put this on. This is on his pocket right here. I'll walk him in. Come on, man. Well, you said you've been arrested by the Miami police. You just bought cocaine from undercover police officer. All right.
The sting is averaging more than 300 arrests a month. Its message is clear. Dope buyers, beware. There's so much dope around, you may think that it comes from right next door. It really doesn't. The dope that reaches the veins and brains of Americans has usually completed a journey of several thousand miles. We'll trace it to the source after this.